Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and good evening and a warm welcome from the UK. It's Halloween today and my name is Dr. Madalenechan and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio viewers and of course to our Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn viewers and YouTube viewers as well. So today for the film and music show, we have a very special guest. He's actually been as a guest a few months ago. And both myself, the producer and chief of operations, Dr. Jacqueline, was super impressed with his ability of being a digital art, creative art genius, as well as being a comedian with different voiceovers. He'd just bring out different voices and I couldn't quite tell who was entering the room, if you know what I mean. And such a fabulous voice as well. So this week on Film and Music Show, we're pleased and absolutely thrilled to announce the very, very extremely talented Steve Klein. Hey Steve.
Hello Maddie. I was looking for somebody else to walk in the room then actually. But yeah, cool. I'm very well. How are you?
Yes, I've got to say, yeah, I'm well. I'm very well. I've just kind of had a long day taking Teddy out, my little doggy. The doggy for a walk and as you know, I was talking to you today. And
absolutely.
I said, I know, and 2 hours later, finally get back at the house.
Yeah, well, you know, taking a dinosaur for a walk on a dog lead's never easy, you know.
You're so funny, Steve.
You have to be careful these days.
I was going to say, Steve, today is Halloween. Do you over in Netherlands, do you celebrate Halloween?
Yeah, I think it's mainly for the kids, but people do dress up. But there's some strange people in this village in Enkhuizen that look like they're in Halloween 365 days a year. So you can't actually see the difference, you know. There's some strange people, especially in the supermarket.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm not quite sure. But yeah, there's some pretty scary people because this is an old, like the old witches and everything. It's very close to this sort of old houses and stuff like that. And they do old crafts and it's quite spooky, you know. It's what they've done. They took some of the oldest houses in Holland, put them right next to the ocean because we're right next to the sea here,
right?
Next to the IJsselmeer. So it's like sweet water. It's blocked away from the actual salty water. Yes. And yeah, there's like yaks and whatever they call them running around here with necks like 9 foot long and old houses and people sat on benches, you know, making old clothes and stuff. It's a very, very unusual place, you know. And I think about this time of the year, it's pretty spooky, you know. Dark nights as well, the same as the UK.
Oh, yeah, it's quite eerie, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Don't they have in America, I think, is it trick or treat? Is it trick or treat?
Yeah, trick or treat, yeah.
Trick or treat. Yeah. Have you ever done that yourself? Have you done a trick
Well, I've done a few things in the past, but I won't talk about them. But I've known a couple of women who dressed up as witches, and actually one actually flew away on a broom one day. You know, that was a bit scary, you know.
Are you being serious? Because I can't quite tell.
Yeah, well, it's a funny old world, isn't it? You never know, do you?
It is. No,
You never
exactly.
know.
So let's leave the topic of discussion about Halloween.
Okay.
And so Steve, can you, in a small, like an elevator pitch, really, you don't have to do an elevator pitch, but you get into your elevator and you've got like 30 seconds or 60 seconds to
Yes.
get up to the top. So in an elevator pitch style, can you share with our audience what you do?
Well, I mean, I'm a musician, singer. I do shows, voiceovers for introductions for DJs and stuff like that, quite famous DJs. And I do the intros for them, for when they go on stage, and they play that before they actually start the DJ set list, and various other things, film introductions and stuff like that. Nothing major, but something I really, really enjoy doing. But my actual my future really is in digital art, which I started in 2012. I'm one of the original people that got together from photography and into art and acrylic art, and then this is the website that my
Yeah, and
manager
can you
Rocco, who you know
explain to
very
us?
well, has designed for
Yes,
me.
Rocco is phenomenally talented and very well connected, and only takes on people, great artists that are so unique and have something different to offer in the world. So you're totally on that great path there, Steve. So can you explain, Steve, about your website? Look at these at our gallery. So we're looking at this
Yes.
beautiful digital art compositions.
Yes, thank you.
What makes you, can I ask a question? What makes you different from those people now that are using certain apps to make art, digital art?
Well, my art, really, I mean, it depends. Sometimes it can be from a drawing, sometimes it's an acrylic painting. And what I'll do is, because I've developed it since 2012, and I sort of use special effects, but when my art, it actually, when it's printed out, it comes alive. It's self-illuminating. And the name for my artwork is MDSFA, which is multidimensional subliminal freeform art. Whereas digital art, you can see it, it's everywhere. You press a button, you pay a few euros, and everybody's, and it's just everywhere. It's like a nose, everybody's got one. But I tried to develop something that actually encompasses, got a soul to it. It's, it feels something. And it was developed originally from acrylic paintings that I used to do on wood, so which started in 2012 when I had an out-of-body experience, had a near-death experience. And that they gave me the wrong anesthetic in my spine. And within a few days, I had a burning passion, to create art. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not normal when it comes to my creativity, because, I try to, well, I think I sort of stayed in another dimension. I never come back to Earth because I went on an out-of-body experience, seeing the doctors trying to bring me back to life. They gave me the wrong injection in my spine, and my vital organs shut down, and I was clinically dead for almost 6 minutes. So I thankfully, praise, whatever's controlling us in the system, give me another opportunity to come back to my body, my crazy old body. And I had a burning passion to become an artist. I started by acrylic painting, which I got very good reviews from the Amsterdam Whitney Gallery in Chelsea, Manhattan, from Ruthie Tucker, who was one of the senior art appraisers for the Guggenheim. So that was in a few weeks, in my first acrylics. And she offered me an exhibition. I never went because of the cost involved and getting to New York for the exposition and stuff like that. And a couple of knee operations and stuff like that I had to get over with. So I had a lot of time spare. I was living in a sort of homeless place at one time, and I had a room, and I started developing my art, went into digital art, And I can honestly say I was the first ones ever to take a photograph of my art and then manipulate it and work with it. Everything I do takes me hours and hours and hours and hours, sometimes days, you know, to develop. It's not something that I just press a button with. That's the difference in my art and what you call artificial intelligence art. There's a big difference. When my art's printed, it's like you can go into it. You don't need to light it up. I found a way of manipulating and with effects and colors and things like that. So the art really pops, you know. So
Right.
yeah. So you know,
Yeah.
without going on for ages about it, but the website.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're writing a book here.
Yeah, I'm writing a book. Yeah, but the
You're
website
writing a
explains
book.
everything. Go into the website.
Yeah, I was going to
Because
say, Steve, going back to when you had your out of body experience, do you remember where did you actually explore what did you experience?
well, basically, because they injected me thorax, the upper body, instead of the lower body, so my heart started to stop, and I felt the operation they were doing on my knee. It was only a football injury, but I felt the pain, and I said to the doctor, I said, I can feel the pain. Next minute, I just went and I looked down, and I was I felt like my body was being pulled away. I could see myself on the table, and the doctors were banging my chest, and then woof, I went on this journey. And it's never left me, you know. And all these people that, you know, go on, they have millions of followers and they say this, that, and the other. I didn't see no light, you know, and some angel, you know, reaching out to me. I seen demons and mountains and volcanoes and colors and black and white and all sorts of things, you know. So I've tried to create, but I create subliminally. It's not like I'm in control of the art. That's why it's difficult for me to explain, you know.
Yeah, I was going to
You have
say,
to look at the art and say that's it, and it just comes from somewhere. I don't think I've any control. I think I'm being channeled by something. I don't know what it is. It
or
could be
it could
Elvis
be,
Presley, or you know, or
it
it
could
could
be,
be Spike Milligan jumping out of a dustbin. Something's driving me.
and another option, another possibility could be, it could be your future multidimensional self that's already
Absolutely, it can be because
a
I've been,
galactic
yeah,
artist.
I've been. I mean, I think I'm being channeled in some ways. You know, I mean, some people
Oh
have
yeah,
compared some of my work to like if Picasso was alive, in you know in our day and time, and he had the ability to work with digital work, it creates similar. Now, I'm not saying I'm a modern day Picasso, but you can't actually look at my artwork and say, oh, it's this and that, the other. That's why I had to name the artwork MDSFA. But in the which Rocco helped me a lot. The manager, as you know very well, he helped me a lot writing my bio and stuff like that because, you know, I just wrote down and he condensed it. And but the
yeah.
story's there. Everything about Steve Klein is there. It's in writing, you know. So
Well, it's phenomenal. I was going to ask about the colors. And would you say you actually implement sacred geometry shapes?
yes, well, the door when I went through my out of body experience, my near death experience, NDE, I ended up at a portal, and in front of me was like this cathedral, and it's in one of my artworks. So I never got past the cathedral, and that was the end of the journey. I think if I'd have gone through the portal into the cathedral, I may never have come back. So there's something stopped me. I remember physically my body trying to get through the void of this doorway in the center of this like cathedral, and I couldn't get through it. Now, I'm not a person who can sit down and draw fantastic stuff or paint. It just seems to come, it just appears. It sounds really strange, but something's driving me because I'd never ever created any artwork before this thing in the hospital. My girlfriend Gerda's a nurse at the hospital, and the anesthesiologist told her, he says, we nearly lost him, you know. We nearly lost him. Or if it hadn't have been for that experience, I would have never been where I am now, you know. In 2022, I was voted top 10 in my category for the world's biggest digital art competition, which was called Live Art X. And it was organized by a guy called Adam Chan, and he was the COO of Sotheby's Fine Art in London. Now, so I got 80% more votes than any other artist in my category, and I got number first position with one of the works, one of the first digital works I created, called Keepers of the Sacred Kingdom. So the earlier artwork, which is, it can be a bit scary. Those were the first artworks, you know. So, and that was the one that sort of established me. So, I do have recognition. It was the biggest, it was the first digital art exhibition and the biggest one to date. There's never been a bigger one, you know. So I was pretty happy about that, because some of the people involved on the team actually worked with the Batman magazine and superheroes and stuff like that. So, you know, but I tried to bring another dimension, because a lot of the original NFT art was like monkeys and stuff like that with earrings in. I tried to make digital art like physical art, so they could print it out as limited editions, and everybody could own, you know, something of Steve Klein, you know. And but with it being digital, some of the images can be made really big, and some of them are just a normal size, and they can be framed, they can be put on die-bond perspex. They can also be projected on stage, you know, and dancers, you know, like ballerinas or whatever, to dance within the images as well, you know. So it's projected. Some of my artwork would be projected, and this is something that I've always envisaged, you know, that the art becomes living, you know.
Yeah. Do you know what's come to my mind? Because I always get downloads. I always get downloads when I'm interviewing about your art. Because in space, there's no such as sound, as words, but there's almost vibration. So color
Yes,
is vibration.
absolutely.
So maybe, just maybe, your paintings have a hidden light language.
Yes, yes,
So that would be very interesting how,
yes.
even though we
I
don't have
mean,
the understanding of it, going in
yeah.
people's homes, it heals them.
Yeah, I mean, I
It
don't know
protects
where it
them.
comes from, but I know when I came out and I came back to my body, and I developed synthesia. So basically, I can see colors in music, you know, and I hear I hear colors. You know, it's like it opened up another portal, and you know, so I was always a spiritual person, because I've been involved in you know, when the terrorism, the IRA in Manchester, when it was blowing up the city, you know, I was one involved in some of the rescue stuff, and you know, so I became very spiritual, you know. And the song Man, Woman and Child about children that I performed in the Gibraltar Song Festival and stuff like that, and For the Children, the anti-war song. There's always been something there. But the thing about the digital artwork, it's not all beautiful, because I didn't have a beautiful childhood, you know. And I think, you know, my art can be pretty scary, but it can also be quite beautiful as well. Angel Over Ukraine, which I created, I sent to President Zelensky. I don't know whether he ever got it, but I sent it to the Ukraine Art Institute. So I'm driven, you know. There's something driving Steve Klein. But my feet are firmly on the ground. I don't feel I'm any different or have anything special powers, but the powers that be, wherever they are, whatever the dimension they're in, they seem to have some caring for me, and they want me to create and keep creating. And so I do, and wherever it's going to end up. And luckily Rocco now has recognized me, and as you know, he's very, very nice guy, and I have a lot of respect for him, and he's a musician as well, which is really cool, you know. So, but I think music and art go together very much, like colours, you know.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you there. But Steve, it's amazing that your talent, it's one in, I would say, a million, really,
Mm.
because the support of where how you started it, how you began. You actually traveled out of your body and into other dimensions to then bring back that gift. That's God
Yes.
given, universally given. So
Oh,
therefore, yeah, absolutely. There's a right time for this to be out there, and this is the right time. It's the right time for it. 2012 probably wasn't the right time, but now
no,
it's
I see.
more than ever. The
Mm.
world requires your art, the
Oh.
language, the frequency, the color. And I see you've got Marilyn Monroe at the back of you. Did you
Yeah,
do
this is one of the works
this?
I did. One of my earlier works. This is,
Oh,
you can't really see it because, yeah, you know, when I first started to do digital art, and then it was put behind glass. When I was in Switzerland, this was an exhibition at the Royal St. George's Hotel. But yeah, I mean, this is, and you know, you can't really see it though because of the, you know, in when I did that one in 2022, it was just a second-hand frame I picked up, so it's got glass on it, but if you use what they call 10% museum quality anti-glare glass, is perfect, you know. So but yeah, it's Marilyn Monroe, but as I see her, because this is the pain she had in her chest, so the red is, you know, the agony, and the blue lips are something she was going through. So it is, yeah. But yeah, you know, when you see my artwork, when it's printed properly, and it's, you know, there's varying surfaces as well. You know, I mean, you've got aluminium diabond and stuff, so you have non-reflective surfaces, because there's nothing worse than creating artwork, digital artwork, and then having it printed, and then you have a reflection on the glass. So that's a reflection. The other painting you can't really see behind me, that this one here, this is an acrylic painting, but I have many paintings. In Spain, I have 13 different acrylic artworks, which the Guggenheim lady, Ruthie Tucker, really liked, you know. So that's a separate. So I've also got physical artwork enough for an exhibition, but I feel it's my digital artwork. The first acrylic artworks on wood are like my children, you know. I mean, honestly, I mean, you don't know what people have tried to get them off me, you know. But it's my digital artwork I feel is more free, it's more available, you know what I mean. So I want to concentrate now with Rocco on putting the digital art out as limited editions, so 1 to 100 or 1 to 50. I can also do a one-off, you know, so somebody would buy it and that they just own that. So the idea is to have them framed, and you know, and but that's my manager's thing, you know. So I create the artwork, and you know, I think in all what I found out is synergy. If two people like you and I, the way we relate, and with Rocco, is two people can become the power of thousands, and because you have this positive energy bouncing off each other, which I think works well with you and myself and Rocco, is we want to make the world a better place. And I want to create something whereby, you know, I mean, no intention of popping my clogs, should we say, but I want something I'll be remembered by for goodness. I want to create something in my lifetime, you know. But as I say, you know, a physical painting, you know, lives on a wall, but a digital painting lives in the universe. That's how I describe digital art,
oh, I love
because
that.
you know, it can
Yeah,
be, yeah, it can be
that is
displayed on
beautiful.
walls, yeah, shows,
Yeah,
events. You know, there's so much, you know, it's a digital world now, and we have to embrace it. Some things in
I
life, it's, you know, it's like artificial intelligence and music and stuff like that, and effects and stuff like that. But the thing is, with digital art, as long as you've got a human touch to it, then it's okay. But a lot of people get programs now, they pay a few euros, they press a button, and all of a sudden, you know, they type in 50 angels, you know, on a boat, you know, in the Caribbean, and then they've got it. But that's not real art.
Yeah. On that note, Steve, I
Yeah.
would like to go on to another talent that you have, because not only could you have your creative genius compositions, digital and acrylic compositions in an art gallery, you could actually portray different characters to introduce each piece. So let's say, for
Yeah.
example, let's say we've got an art gallery, right? And let's have, let me think, let's have Sean Connery. Let's have Sean Connery to explain Marilyn Monroe picture at the back.
Yes, well, the beauty in the colours is it's quite interesting because you've got the colours of Marilyn Monroe. She was a very good friend of mine, you know, in a past lifetime, you know. And she said, Steve Klein, I really like you to make my portrait, you know. And in 2024 to take it to the world, you know. So I said, oh, okay, Marilyn, we can probably do that. And this doesn't sound a little bit like Sean Connery, you know, because it's a limited edition Mancunian Sean Connery, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. What a talent.
I don't know. I don't know whether that was Sean Connery or, you know.
Can we go on to John Lennon? Can you?
John Lennon?
No, Lemon, not Lemon, Lennon. How about John Lennon explaining the acrylic?
Oh, that's difficult. That's a Liverpudlian accent, isn't it?
I'm going to put that on you, yeah.
No, it's a difficult one. That's a difficult one, John Lennon. I don't know. That's not really one of mine, is it, John Lennon?
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
I think it is.
You know what I mean? Do you know? A lot of stage
we bring Yoko here.
Oh, Yoko. We could do Yoko because you look a little bit like her, but a lot better looking than Yoko. And you don't scream too much, do you? You know.
No,
you know,
like
you know.
Oh,
it's a lot of side Yoko. You know, I could make this lot beautiful, but it sounds like Birmingham. It sounds like one of the Peaky Blinders, doesn't it? Yeah, with the guy from Peaky Blinders, you know. To the our trouble is Alfie Solomon there, but I'll show you this Marilyn Monroe for £50,000, and you get a free bottle of my special whiskey with it. All right, then, no problem.
£50,000? Come on, at least 100.
No, listen, this is a very expensive painting. I'll tell you something. Yeah, and the other one would be like, I don't know who you are or what you want, but if it's Marilyn Monroe, I will find you. I will sell you this painting, and then I won't kill you unless you don't buy it. You're going to get me locked up, you. That's not even a good impression.
No, I'm not. I just think it's so hilarious and funny. And people like originality and uniqueness and specialisms, right?
Specialism, what it is, you know. What it is, you know, it's the king, and I'd like to say, you know, I'd like to buy your artwork and put it in Buckingham Palace together with the Renoirs, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's what it is, you know. It's a funny old world. And you is very important. But mainly it works better when you're on a stage and you've got a microphone in front of you, you know. But switching it on here and there, you know, it's not always.
Can you imagine? Sorry, can you imagine, Steve, that you've got your wonderful digital art compositions, and then you've got voiceovers, and then suddenly you break out into voice and singing because you're extremely a talented performer and artist, and you've been performing for how long on the circuit?
Well, it's the first time I sung in public. I was 6 years of age, and I'm 71 now.
You're 71.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, so 1959 was the first time I did a public. My brothers put me on a wooden box at Christmas Eve, and I was singing Silent Night, and all the people were that upset because of this little kid, you know. And I remember my brothers took it all to Bellevue, the fun place, and put it all in slot machines. So I didn't earn anything off that. But it gave me a bug that I wanted to entertain. I want to make people happy, you know. But I mean, over the years, I mean, I used to do voices like Jim Reeves, you know. So baritone voices, you know. Oh, put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low, etc. But different voices,
phenomenal, you know. How you can go from one voice tone to another.
So you get used to it, don't you? I think over the years, you know. Johnny Cash.
What about Johnny Cash? Can you bring Johnny Cash in?
Johnny Cash. Give me a
Yeah.
subject. Give me any subject.
Oh, Johnny Cash. You're going to sing about it, are you?
Yeah, but what subject would you
What
like Johnny Cash to
subject?
sing
Oh,
about?
I tell you what. Johnny Cash ordering at a Italian, no, not Italian. Yeah, Italian restaurant. Johnny Cash. Or ordering, or any kind of food. Ordering a meal.
Well, I just got down to the corner shop. It's wait a minute. Well, it's Johnny Cash here, and I'm in an Italian restaurant, and I'm ordering a good old ravioli because you can't beat a ravioli. You know what I'm saying? That sounds more like doesn't sound like Johnny Cash. I need a
No,
guitar to do Johnny Cash. I haven't got my guitar in front of me, but Johnny Cash is like, you know.
it
Well,
was
I
great.
keep a close watch on this heart of mine. Yes, I'll admit, time proves that it's right because you're mine. I walk the line. Yeah.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
you can
it.
get the
Love
blues
it.
man, you know. Well, I
Yeah, what
got
about
up
the
this
blues?
morning. Invisible microphone. You know, you can do this stuff, you know. It's very
You're
funny, you know.
phenomenally talented. You're extremely funny. But
I'm
what
very funny
about,
when I've had a drink of
what
whiskey,
about the
but we
big
don't have
man?
any. The dog's drunk it.
What about what they're known as the big man, the big romantic big man? He's not here anymore, but the big man, Barry White.
Oh, yeah, baby. You know what I'm saying,
Baby.
baby, you know. It was one of those nights, you know. Oh, my baby, I just walked up to your room and I knocked on the door. And I walked in the room and I opened the curtains and there was a redhead walked by. I could tell she was tall because it was on the 3rd story. Her name was Marilyn Monroe from Blackpool. She was a hell of a girl. Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to go too much.
Oh
I used to
my
get in
God,
trouble with
is
that voice.
fantastic.
I remember once making a cassette for a woman, and she had all these cassettes printed in Wythenshawe in
one
Manchester.
woman. One woman.
Some woman,
Steve.
and I made a cassette, and I was talking sexy on the phone. And what she did, she got, which I won't do here, and I was a bit overboard, you know. I was going to take her to the fish and chip shop, you know, all that really erotic stuff, and buy her a pie and all that lot, you know, and give her some scratchings. And anyway, I put it on a cassette tape and I sent it to her. And what she did, she had 100 cassette tapes made, and all over this really rough housing state in Wythenshawe in Manchester. They were all trying to find out who this guy was, you know. So she made a lot of money on them, you know. But yeah, but you know, I mean, you know, it's like one man, one journey to another world. Can you imagine a place where art is all over the place, on the walls and everything? Not Vincent van Gogh, but Vincent with a cough. I'm just gonna have a drink of water. It's not it's not really whiskey, you know. You have this way of making me look an absolute balloon, you know, but it's okay.
No, absolutely not. You look amazing. You're 71 and you look incredibly like 10 years younger, maybe even 12 years younger.
Yeah, yes. Well, I'm 71 now. I've just done my water.
So what's your secret? What's your secret, Steve, about
my secret to what?
Well, maintaining your health,
I think what it is,
health.
if you feel young, you know, the worst thing you can do in this life, right, and I know this, and it's absolute fact, is you must never, ever, ever, ever let the child inside you die, because there's many people in life and the child inside them has already died. It's not the child's fault. The child will always be with you as a guardian angel, right? But the child is actually, you've let the child die. And once you let the child die, basically what happens is the rest of the body will shrivel up and go with it. And that's it. And it's like one of the most greatest songwriters ever was Toby Keith. And in the film The Mule with Clint Eastwood in it, Toby Keith said to Clint Eastwood, who looks great for his age. I mean, he's in his 90s. So when The Mule came out a few years ago, Toby Keith said, "How do you look so young, you know?" And Clint Eastwood said to Toby Keith, "I don't let the old man in." And Toby Keith, before he died, he had a big hit with that song, "Don't Let the Old Man In." And another thing as well, which is in the song lyric, which is beautiful, is, can you imagine how old you'd be if you didn't know the day you were born?
Oh my gosh, that is
Because it's true, because, you know,
yeah.
people look at an age as a number, and it's not. I mean, people look at an age as a disease. It's not, it's a number. That's all it is. So basically, you could be 90, but in your heart and your if you're lucky in life. I mean, I've had a few knocks and this, and you know, half a knee replacement and stuff like that. But what I'm saying, at the end of the day, you know, and the kidney stone, these are things you go through. But I don't suffer with like hypertension and diabetes type 1 and all this stuff, because you know, I'm a positive person. I don't eat rubbish. You know, we are what we eat. I don't smoke and I don't like drink much. I mean, I have a few wines every month or so. You know, I love life, and I love life because of my natural dopamine, my natural endorphins. I get so excited just by the simplest things in life, you know, and conversation. And I think what it is, people expect too much. We're living in an artificial world with gaming and stuff like that, and the violence and everything, when really what we need to do is learn to communicate with each other more, to talk to each other once more, and you know, open our hearts. And I'm not talking about religion, even though I wear a cross. It's not necessarily, you know, I drop to my knees every 5 minutes, you know. But the thing is, you know, I believe we're connected, interconnected, and the times are changing. Climate change is real, and I think the glue that bonds us together has become a little bit unstuck, you know.
Yes.
And I think
Yeah, I agree.
laughter and colours and caring is the glue
Right.
that can bring humanity back together again.
Well, it's Steve, we're coming to the end of this fantastic interview that you've given for us today on the Film and Music Show, and you must come back again. But before we play out, could you please let the audience know how they can contact you and why you want them to contact you?
Well, I mean, I'd like to, you know, to share the website with them, you know, because my story's on there. My story since, well, you know, midlife story, really, especially from 2012 when I had the near-death experience. You'll also see my bio is on there. My artwork is on my website. And if you can add the link to my Facebook as well, Maddie, that's fine. And please, when you go through it, if you can check Rocco, my manager, his showreel is phenomenal. I mean, the fact that, you know, I have a manager now that's worked with some of the A-list, biggest ever A-list stars in Hollywood, and now is, you know, is taking a chance on this Mancunian, which is really cool. Yes, that's my Facebook page. You can't see it very well on there, but I was also the UK judge for a lot of fashion. I've been involved in the fashion industry for a long time.
Right.
So I've hosted many events.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm sorry to say, but we are actually out of time and we have to run our sponsors. So please
God bless you.
do come
Thank
back.
you for your time.
Yeah, and please keep entertaining with your comedy, with your phenomenal art, digital art compositions, and your voice. We'll see you next week. So I'm going to say thank you to everyone at USA Global TV and Radio viewers, LinkedIn, Instagram, and our YouTube viewers as well. Thank you to Audi K Barrier, the sponsor of the Film and Music Show. My name is Dr. Madelenechan, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And now we close out with our main sponsors. Bye.
5 Little Known Secrets for Dementia Caregivers with Tracy Cram-Perkins.
Hi there, I am Tracy Cram-Perkins, the host of the Dementia Home Care Show here on USA Global TV and Radio. I am also the author of the book of the same name. And you'll see this QR code. This is for an extended version of the same talk. So if you want to see the full hour-long version, feel free to scan the code and go to that website. Stick with me. We'll talk about 5 little known secrets to make it a little easier to do dementia caregiving. What you're seeing on the left-hand side is a healthy aged brain, age 55 and above. The one you're seeing on the right is an Alzheimer's disease brain. It is in moderate disease. It is shrinking. It has holes in it. The memories that were in those holes no longer exist. When you're learning something, let's say in kindergarten, you learn how to tie your shoelace. Well, then by the time you're in second grade, your brain remembers that information from tying the shoelace and applies it so you can learn more quickly how to tie more complex knots. So the brain is hardwired to do this for us. So it helps us learn faster so it doesn't take us long to acquire knowledge. The brain is looking for the information and they pick the closest to wherever that hole is. Let's look at some tips that we can use to help do that. These are 5 simple tools you can use as a dementia caregiver to help your loved one. The whiteboard is a useful tool in recording the day's activities and the answers to repetitive questions. The calendar clock is a very useful tool to orient your loved one on the day, the date, and the time, and remind them of upcoming appointments. The communication cards are a great tool to bridge the gap when they can no longer tell you what's wrong. And then there's the pill minder for when your loved one is still able to take pills but needs prompting. The final tool I want to share with you is the memory book. It tells your loved one's story. It's a great tool for distraction, redirection, also as a conversation starter, and telling you where they are in their story so you know how to answer their questions. Music is probably the most powerful tool in your toolbox after laughter. Music is a way to maintain connection. It sticks with your brain longer than any other thing, including reading. When you're having an issue with somebody, you can play their favorite music if you move them to another room, something that makes them happy, or you can start singing songs together from their childhood. These are some of my favorite books for caregivers. My show airs on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, and you can view past episodes on YouTube. Thank you, everyone.
This program has been brought to you in part by Tracy Cram-Perkins. Connect with her and order her book at tracycramperkins.com. For more information about Alzheimer's disease, support resources, and how you can help, contact the Alzheimer's Association at 1-800-272-3900 or visit their website at www.alz.org. They offer 24/7 helpline support and a wealth of information to assist you and your loved ones.